Hello, and welcome to My Life as Mikeyo, Season 11, Episode 1. Today is Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. 60 some degrees outside. It's clear, it's a little windy, but guess what? We're here together. A lot of people always will say that the last year was the crappiest year of my life, and or this is my year, this is when it's all going to happen. But to be honest, we say that to ourselves every year. But what we should be saying is, yeah, we didn't do so hot the year prior. This is why, and this is what we're going to do better. And that's the whole point of these My Life as Mikeyo videos. Is one, it's a chronicle of life. If Facebook last outlives me, and place for those to remember me as after I've left this plane of existence. But it's also to hold myself accountable. Speaking of that, I need to find a better way to hold this camera. Maybe should I look at? Okay, normally I'm sitting down, but I guess here we go. Now we have the hand light up. So I'm not going to say that last year was a bad year. Last year was actually a great year. I loved last year. So much stuff happened in my life. New hobbies kicked in really, really hard with like pinball and pinball repair and tournaments and all that stuff, and it's been great. We'll absolutely love it. What I didn't do very much last year, or really most we'll just say last year, is I didn't do any woodworking. Can you believe that? A guy who is very passionate about woodworking didn't do anything. And I say that, yeah, I did the whole front of the house for Halloween, and yeah, that didn't technically was woodworking, but it was one thing. And it was done well. I would say there was no regrets with that. But I didn't like really focus a lot on some things I wanted to get accomplished. So one of those was like finishing up the mugs that I made in 2023, and building other stuff here and there. So I'm going to kind of focus that a little bit more this year. I would also possibly say that 2023, I was very naughty because I didn't close my shop down properly. And I want to say every other year I did good. So it's hard at the end of the season in woodworking. Because you can look at the forecast and you can say, oh, I can work in 30 degrees, I can work in 40 degrees, I can work in 50 degrees. But depending on what project you're working on at the time, may push longer into the season. I was working all the way up until middle of October, and then I took a quote unquote break, and then once November hit, had to pack the garage back up from the Halloween stuff, and honestly didn't do much cleaning. In fact, actually I didn't close up the shop properly in 2023 because everything was haphazardly put all over the place. So it's going to be nice out for the next couple of weeks. And my vehicle is currently in the shop, at least until Thursday at the earliest, but I think it's probably going to go longer than that because my car is kind of poo-poo right now. But we're going to clean up. But I guess let's wrap up the current life stuff, and then we'll go over kind of like what we want to do. I'll show you how ugly the shop looks at the moment, so I can get my embarrassment out into the public. But let's talk about life. So a couple of weeks ago, a couple things happened. The first is, actually it might have been 3 weeks ago when it sort of started, but 3 weeks ago I have this abscess in my chest that I've had for 20 years now. And 20 years ago it got infected, and I was drained and I was stuffed, and that was that. And that would be a reoccurring thing for about every year or every other year, for about the first 10 years. So about 10 years ago, the last time I was drained and stuff, someone told me, I can have that surgically removed. So I did that, and it was amazing. Yeah, it was about the size of a half of a golf ball. That was kind of like permanently there. But I had no issues for 10 years up until about 3 weeks ago. And I noticed it was getting bigger. And so I knew it was getting infected. So I was like, well, I'm going to have to schedule an appointment with the surgeon again, have him take a look at it. And just about 2 weeks ago, my vehicle started losing power. I couldn't get above 55, put a couple quarts of Oro in. A couple hours later, now I can't go above 25. I get the vehicle home and I wanted to look at it and stuff like that. Now my abscess is getting like bigger and it's starting to become uncomfortable, and it's also cold and stuff like that. So that starts getting pushed off, and then within that same week, then the abscess breaks open, and then I had to get drained and all that stuff, and it's where it is on my chest. It sucks because I can't really lift anything, which is going to be also a New Year's resolve for me, is to get back into shape, and not to and get back into shape and not feel weak all the time when it comes to lifting things. So anyway, I had to push my surgical consult until this next week, which would be 2 weeks of being drained. They didn't stuff me because I was gonna be going to the surgeon, and but I was like, I have no vehicle to get there. I still don't have a vehicle to get there, but Mimi and I are gonna work something out for next week. I got a later appointment, so at least I can get that all taken care of. So I've been feeling kind of rough the last couple weeks, and but I'm getting a little bit more spring in my step, and we're gonna take care of business. My car is sitting at the shop. They can't look at it until Thursday. If we're lucky, it will just be a sensor, but I really think my transmission's gone. So I'm mentally prepared for that price. So anyway, that's where we are. Other than that, we're happy. We're going to be ordering a new vehicle here in about late April. We're going to go with the Ford Maverick, hybrid 4K tow, and that should be fun, and I'm excited for that. I think my car heard me talk about the Maverick a lot, which is why it pooped out. But it's gonna get my current car is gonna get fixed up. We're gonna have them run through like a whole checklist of what stuff should be fixed on it and get some pricing and whatnot, because we're gonna make the car all nice and safe and everything like that, because it's gonna be the kids' car, because they're learning to drive, and so we only have 2 vehicles, and Mimi and I both work full time, so it's one of those things where we're gonna have to have at least one extra vehicle and let the kids fight over it, which would be fun. We should have like a Hunger Games type scenario, and or a Game of Thrones or Mortal Kombat. I wish I watched Game of Thrones. I don't. No, let's not do Game of Thrones, because I don't think that's the right reference. So, anyway, let's talk about what we want to do in 2025 woodworking. So I have over here a whole bunch of mugs. If you made it this far, hello, welcome. Move all this stuff all the way. So we got a whole bunch of mugs. We have not finished yet. They need to be finished. We got some that are closer than others, but they're going to be finished. I got a bunch of coasters that need to get finished. We got some more mugs over there, so we want to finish up those guys. We have and we got a ton of sheet goods. So when I was designing the front, I was thinking about fully wrapping plywood around, but then realized I would not be able to mount the ones around the side because it's only got a railing and no columns. So I got more sheet goods than I normally probably should have, but I might probably make a bookshelf so I can get rid of all this stuff. So I guess let's talk so that this is the mess that we're dealing with. This used to be my table saw stand on my old table saw. We're going to convert that into a router table because my current router table, which is underneath all this crap, was like God, I don't have a good thing on it. Anyway, I don't want to say cheaply made, but at the time it was the best that I can do because I was just getting into woodworking. It was one of the, after I had my Ryobi saw, I ended up buying that. It's a Harbor Freight, but we're gonna make a really nice table. We'll get rid of that guy. We have that little table there that used to hold our whatchamacallit, our heat pump / air conditioner. I'm gonna kill all the mold on it and repurpose it for something else. Don't know what yet, but definitely could be used for something. So yeah, so we're gonna get rid of this red thing here. It was once an electric grill. I thought it'd be cool to make a bird bath, but that was like 3 years ago. The plan is not continued. There's a big old box of greenhouse panels that are used for the front of the Old Ghouls Tavern, so this has to go somewhere else. Yeah, so it's just getting all this stuff organized, because if you have an organized shop, the creativity will flow. It'll flow through you. You'll feel the power of creativity, and you'll build all kinds of stuff. Heck, I might even see these are birch logs. These were given to me by my buddy Jacob 3 years ago. And they sat there for 3 years. They're probably still good, but we wanted to mill them down so we can make mugs out of them. So that's what we're gonna do. Now, here's a minor goal, and I say minor because we don't want to overwork the docket. A minor goal is that we wanted to build. Actually, you know what? It's a good idea, Mikeyo. I know what I can do. Sorry. So we got the virtual pinball machine, which is really just a TV on a table right now. Yeah, I just forgot about that. That's what we can use the plywood for. We could use it to build that. I was going to do something crazy and glue up a panel of a design and stuff like that. But I think I'm just going to use the plywood because I already paid for it. I have no use for it currently, but we're going to do that. Oh, the other thing that was holding down the mugs is that I kept going through round over bits for the middle to round over the ends. So we're gonna just stock up on these because we kept ruining the ball bearing on it, and so it'd break, and then we divot in. I think future for these mugs, we're gonna do a taper of some sort towards the end of them, so they will they'll fit a little bit. They'll have a little bit more of a lip on them. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. What was the other thing we were gonna do? A gentleman's what was it? A gentleman's savant. I think it's what it's called. It's basically a place you can hang your clothes up. You know, get yourself ready for the day. I know what it's called, but it's a gentleman's. I think it's yeah. Oh, gentleman's valet. That's what it is. It was one of the first things I designed back in 2018. I call him Eduardo, and it's beautiful. So we might make that. That might be our final project for the year. Yeah. So step one, next 2 weeks, we're cleaning. We're pulling everything out. We're getting rid of crap. We may, if we're even feeling pretty froggy, unredneck the backyard, all the random junk that sits back there. Who knows? We might live it up. But yeah, but we really gotta focus on getting the shop to par, and also setting ground rules for myself with this. We're pretty good at doing the daily cleanup, but the winter cleanup, making sure everything's stored away. Yeah, I think that's it. And also, like for Halloween, I don't think we have a whole lot we're building this year. Because the Old Ghouls Tavern was like probably the biggest, most ambitious project I've did for Halloween. I really can't think of anything else we could do for the front. Yeah, unless the wife comes up with something crazy, and that crazy is going to have to come in the next couple of months. So, all right. So yeah. So today we're cleaning. We're probably going to clean for a couple hours, and then hopefully be done by the 1st and ready to mill or do whatever we need to do to get the woodworking back in full flow. So we can start pushing out projects. I was really close, like in 2022, to make about 100 mugs. We can still do that goal. Unfortunately, I gave most of them away as like Christmas presents and birthday presents and whatnot. We'll probably do some what do they call it? Not graffiti, confetti projects. If you don't know what a confetti project is, it's when you got a whole bunch of scrap wood. Like, there's my wood there. If it won't let me zoom in. Oh, or there we go. Yeah. So we got big old like waste cuts and stuff like that. Do something with those. Make some confetti. Essentially, that's what these coasters are. Let's see if I can find a good one that you can kind of see it. Yeah, maybe a little bit here. Maybe it's not the best, but I mean, it's a coaster. It serves its purpose. These are actually just cut-offs, like these ones here. These are actually were part of another project that I don't think I have anymore. Probably gave that away. But I consider these to be confetti projects because you just get a bunch of scrap wood, mill it down, get it ready. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. These little side ones too. So not the most proudest, but at least then they can hold a drink. So that's that. I think that's what we're gonna be doing. So if you have any ideas of things that you would like to see built, I guess let me know. And probably, who knows, it might be in 2025, might be 2026, but we want to be able to get the shop in a place where we can do. Actually, you know what? That's another goal we could do. We need better shelving. Yeah, because like we started doing better with like building 2 workbenches and then having that rack system worked out a lot. But like this back wall is like all like bare, and yeah, we have like a what's that? About 3 or 4, about a 4-foot depth from here, but we can like put stuff we don't normally like whatever's in here, you know, this crap. Same thing for over there. There's no shelves. I mean, I got the small shelf with the gardening stuff, but we need to build a shelf system. Even take down these plastic guys and maybe give away some bikes that nobody rides anymore. But get those all together, get it organized, and working good. So but that's all we got for today. Remember to always keep on dreaming, thinking, doing. The moment you stop, it's when life slows down. We'll see you next time.